Well, I thought I'd give another view of the millet. The sorghum crop. As you can see, have a good stand of sorghum this year. Nice, big, thick stalks, properly spaced. As you can see, many of them now still have the in the dough stage of the of seed formation. Time to cut the rest of them off. I cut quite a few of them off the other day, but have had some more that have come in. So this is the sorghum stalk crop, and as you can see, the stalks at the bottom are fairly thick. You like to get something 3/4 of an inch or more. You can see that there's some coloration. You see the spotting at the bottom. That means that they're getting close to harvest time. There's some that are already much along the way. What happens is you have this stalk now, and these were cut, and this one has not been. But what you do is you take a stick, really, just a wand, a stick, and you'll strip the leaves off while they're still in the field, and then just cut the stalk. I use just a blade with a weed eater with a pruning blade on it to cut the stalk, and some of them are much thicker than others, but most of them are 3/4 of an inch thick, which is a good you get good juice from that. Most of the juice is in the bottom of the stalk, as you would imagine, because that's where the diameter is biggest. And as you can see, some of the leaves are turning purple, so it's time. I could let it go a little further, but what I'll do is I'll take some of these stalks and press the juice out of them, and then do a reading of what they call the Brix, which is BRIX. It's a measure of sugar content, and in some of the equipment I have, it will give you the potential alcohol in any kind of juice. So, and what I'm trying to get, the maximum for sorghum is about 14% potential alcohol, but if you can get it up 8, 10, 12 is great, but 10 is what I really shoot for. 14 is terrific, but you just have to take it as you get it. Dale is this is Dale sorghum. It's a very good sorghum. It's a hardy sorghum. Very little lodging. As a matter of fact, I see no lodging in this, and very little disease. They're very disease resistant. So probably not the most highly concentrated of sugars. Maybe not even the best producer of sugars, but you'll very rarely have a crop failure, and it makes a very excellent juice and an excellent syrup. Now this is the cane meal. Uh, it's a 3-roller cane meal, and they call it that because it has 3 rollers. You can see there are 2 rollers here in the front, and then there's the larger roller in the back. And basically this has a long pole that would go off for either side, and then you can have either 1 or 2 what they used to use as mules that were trained to walk in a circle at a certain pace, and those mules would travel from farm to farm and during harvest time and be rented out for turning the cane mills. There's actually a guy, believe it or not, that lives about 10 miles from where I am, that has a trained mule that goes to fall festivals and that types of things to turn these mills. I don't know that I'll use him, but and I can use like a garden tractor to do the same thing that the mule would do. But this setup is pretty much standards fare for how you set the male up. You have to get it tall enough so that what happens is you feed the stalks in here, and you can see I just stuck a few stalks. Let me see if I can get around. You can see a few stalks stuck in the inlet from last year, and I just left them there so you can kind of see what's going on. It becomes yard art during the year. Just a little grease here and there, and you can adjust the roller so that the juice will then fall out of this spigot, and you just hang a bucket off of the edge and it will collect, and that's how you extract the cane the juice. This is a Southern plow company from Columbus, Georgia, #1 mill. This mill I bought in Alabama on an old farm way back in the woods. It had just been sitting there in the field for years. I had it reconditioned. There was some damage to it. As you can see, this one was cracked in several places, and it had to be welded back, and there were some other things. And but it has huge gears to it. It's a very high torque, low RPM machine, and it presses at a very a lot of pressure on it and does an excellent job. I used it a little bit last year just as a test. My crop failed pretty much last year due to some unknown reason, but this is the meal that will be extracting the sorghum juice. So that's quite a little operation. It's a lot of fun, really. A lot of work, but it's a lot of fun. And then I can either make my mash, which is just take the juice, let it settle, and then add baker's yeast to it, and it will ferment so that I can distill it into ethanol to run in my gasoline engines. Or I can boil it down, and generally you boil it to about 20 degrees over the boiling point to boil enough water out to turn it into syrup. Somewhere around 220 or 230 degrees. I'll have to take a look at it. The old timers can look at it and tell, well, they say they can, and tell when it's perfect, but I don't do that. I use a thermometer and cook it off just like I was cooking candy or something like that, and so that I get it exactly where it's supposed to be for the sorghum syrup. And sorghum syrup's it's an acquired taste, but once you acquire a taste for it, there's nothing like a good buttered biscuit with sorghum syrup. So especially if it's a very light golden syrup, you'll see some that is darker and some that has a greenish color to it. The greenish color has not been allowed to settle properly before it was boiled, and the darker may have been cooked off in something other than copper. Copper is by far the best metal to cook it off in. You can do cast iron, you can do aluminum, but copper is by far the best. And I have a copper pot that I boil off just in batches. I don't do a lot of syrup, but it is a very high quality syrup once it's done. So that's the sorghum, and it will be coming in shortly on the road to nowhere. All right, y'all have a good day. Talk to you later. Bye.